I'd like to call to order the Westmont Village Board meeting of June 16th, 2022, to order at 6 o'clock p.m. and ask Clerk Simsky for roll call, please.
Mayor Gunter?
Here.
The clerk's here. Trustee Barker?
Here.
Trustee Brady?
Here.
Trustee Guzzo?
Here.
Trustee Little?
Here.
Trustee Nero?
Here.
Trustee Simonovich?
Here.
Attorney Carrera?
Here.
Village Manager May?
Here.
Assistant Village Manager Parker.
Here. Would everybody please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to welcome everyone, and moving on the agenda, of course, the first item is always the open forum, and I do have some requests, but if anybody's here for an item that's on the agenda, you'll get your opportunity to talk at that point, but all these are for a issue that's not on the agenda they'd like to address the board. And is it Justin Zelinka, Billy Conte? Is that, are you all gonna talk?
Yeah, no, we'll appoint someone here.
One, and it's all about Mr. Hank. Don't you wanna talk, Mr. Hank? No. And I was counting on you to talk.
I'm so well known.
So really, it's all, and for the record, we've got all these people here, and it's all about, and you can explain the issue. Okay.
Absolutely. It's all about the same issue. Thank you, Mayor. My name is Paul Buikema. My wife and I, Angela, live at 509 Ryan Court, and we have for the last 24 years, where we've raised our kids, and we've been very happy living here in Westmont, and we look forward to many more years. The only issue that and concern that we have is the house across the street from us, which is actually at 329 East 56th Street, is in, to say disrepair is probably kind. It has been abandoned for a number of years, and it could be anywhere from 2 to 5 years, and it is dilapidated. There are animals that go in and out of the house on a regular basis. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this. I know some staff folks have been out to the property. There have been a number of complaints that have been filed just regarding the weeds, the overgrowth. I think that the village they came out and cleaned up the parkway area. The bushes are still overgrown to the point where it can be very dangerous for people walking, with cars are taking a right or left around the off of Ryan Court onto the street, and yeah, we're very concerned about the safety issues raised by an abandoned house. It's not, I mean, boarding it up would be one option if there's a possibility that the village could have it raised, because it has been not been maintained. It has been abandoned. I know the taxes on the property were sold in the 2017s were sold in 2018. Having been a village attorney previously, I know there's a potential you could use a tax deed process. I know that's not inexpensive as an option, but the safety hazard and frankly, the negative impact it has on the neighborhood, it's really the only negative impact on our neighborhood, is the condition of that property that concerns all of us that are here this evening. And I just wanted to share that with you and ask that if you could look into, or we could work with the city attorney possibly on a process to, having it condemned, having it raised, the tax deed process, and in the meantime, having the property cleaned up a little bit. So it's, somebody said that they've seen people coming and going from the property recently that had never been there before. I have not seen that, but it is a true safety hazard, since it is abandoned and animals are going in and out. People could be going in and out too, that don't belong there at all. So that's a concern.
Is it east of Ryan Court or
West.
west, and is it on the same side? It's on the south side of 56?
It's on the south
Okay.
side. Correct. Greenleaf Court is on the
Ryan
north side.
Court and Oak Street, it's between the two?
Correct. Yeah.
Now I have to look for it when I
Yeah.
drive by. But I
So-
don't think we got it, other than we'll look
No,
into it.
I don't have an answer tonight. I can speak to things in general, but you mentioned that that staff had been out there. So is this something that has already been reported in
There have
code
been-
enforcement right now?
There have been a number of complaints I know that have been filed regarding the length of the grass. I mean, the weeds, it's really overbrush. It looks like a little mini jungle out there. And they did come out, staff came out and cleared the parkway earlier this week. And one of the street signs that had been put up on our street 22 years ago that said no outlet had been removed, and they replaced that a couple days ago.
And so the reason I ask it, and I'm just going to speak generally, not
Sure.
specifically about this address, but the reason we can do the parkway is because it's our property. We are a non-home rule community, so our abilities on the private property are not necessarily the same, and that's different. And the only thing I can speak to, just recognizing it, and it's been some years now, but there was property on the north side of town that we did go through that process, and that physically goes through a long court cycle, and it took about 2.5 years to address that once it was started. So I don't say that to discourage what you're talking about, but we will look into it specifically based on your comments tonight.
Thank you. Yeah, in this particular case, the taxes have not been paid since the 2017 taxes were sold in 2018 and haven't obviously been paid since. I looked, the cost to redeem the taxes of about $27,000. So the taxes have just continued to accumulate, which after they've been sold is not unusual. So it's been that long that 2.5 years might seem short compared to the last 5 to 10 years. That unfortunately, it's just been abandoned. And somebody did cut the grass a couple of years ago, but I think the people who own the property have just given up. They were elderly, and I think it was their son that lived there. Somebody might be able to verify that. Yeah.
Alan Hank, and since you made me get up and speak,
Yeah,
one of the things you had talked about is that someone did come out, they saw there were holes in the roof, windows are wide open, it's in such a condition, it's not habitable, they said it should be condemned. So this is not just a house that's unoccupied, this is a house that's unable to be occupied and is in disrepair. It was the son who lived there for a couple years, and that goes back now 4 or 5 years. And no one's, in my recollection, it goes 4 to 5 years since it's been, anyone's lived in the premises. I think things like they have a lot of dead trees, and dead trees have fallen on destroyed the fence that's up there, and that have crashed into the street, for example. So if children are playing there or cars are parked along the street, I think it represents a danger. So, and it's also really an attractive nuisance for kids and other things who might not. Then there have been people spotted kind of coming in and out of there, but we don't have any proof of anything really going on that's illegal.
I'm assuming it's probably paid for, bank doesn't own it, probably passed down to the family, and so nobody's trying to, recoup it. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, all right. Again, probably the most frustrating thing, I think the manager said it for me, is the length of process to even getting someone to cut their lawn grass. It is frustrating.
I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
No, what I was speaking to is after it got into the court system, it took that long. So it sounds like it's being paid attention to by code enforcement, but we'll just ensure that it is.
I don't know if there's anything that you can do to secure the property. I mean, we
We can't
prefer-
access ourselves to the private property without going through that longer process. And then that cost, is leaned to the property, and if there is effectively no owner of the property too, none of that's recoupable as well. So there's a lot of layers of complication with the topic. I'm not disagreeing with anything, you're saying. It's difficult.
Yeah, we just wanted to bring it to the board's attention because we're really concerned that, I mean, it's a safety hazard from a number of different angles. So, yeah, I don't know next steps in terms of what can be done. And when you said there was a property in the north side that you went through the court process, that you obtained a tax deed for?
Actually, it was more of a court order to force the property owner that was residing out of the country at the time to make the repairs, and then we were at a court order, permission to arrange for that work and lien the property.
Okay. So in this particular case, would you be able to cut the grass on the property and trim the bushes? I think,
Not with,
and
Not-
then
not
leave the
easily.
property?
not, immediately, again, it's that longer code enforcement process.
Okay,
I mean, we'll look into it and we'll find out what we can do and what we can do in what order and in what time, but, we can't just let ourselves on private property, except to inspect.
yeah. Oh, hey, Jerry.
I'm Jerry Novak, I live at 501 Ryan Court, right across the street, and I can't believe no one's been aware of this, because I've been there 22 years, and I've actually gone to the village, when you were right there on Wilmette, and had people come out and trim those bushes, because you couldn't walk over the sidewalk, the overgrowth was so high. So there has been some, maybe off the books, but there has been cutting over the years, because I've complained about it. People walk down the sidewalk all the time, and the overgrowth hinders them.
Yeah.
So there has been some cutting, not in the last
Sidewalk
couple of years,
is
but it has been.
public
I mean, this has
property.
been bad for years. I know they shut the water off years ago because when I complained, that was the only way that they could get, I don't know, any effect on that homeowner, because it was the mother that owned the property. The son was an alcoholic and he was in and out. Finally, he just disappeared. I guess the mother couldn't be found or
And I
something.
think the gas and electric have been cut too to the property.
Yeah. I mean, this has been going on for years,
But
as
again,
long as
what
I've lived there.
the manager was just saying that when it affects public property, we can cut the hedges, but we can't physically go on to
Yeah, I-
without a court order. And that's been the most frustrating thing for me through the years, because
Okay.
Can you
Yeah.
fine people for not, can you create an ongoing fine with liens against the deed?
there's a process for that too, yes. Yeah,
Well, there is, but if you're leaning something that isn't owned,
That's true.
it's kind of not relevant.
Adam,
sounds like it's got to be complicated a little bit, but now that you brought attention, obviously it's on somebody's radar at the village, because Bruce Sylvester, Director Sylvester, his staff has been looking at it recently, so I think we could take the next step and see what we can do.
So should I contact the manager next, or Mr. Sylvester? Or-
Code, Community Development Department, but the building division or the code enforcement division of the Community Development Department will be looking into it.
Okay. I'll follow up and touch base, and I know others have already been in touch with Jason from Community Development. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the building
He's
commissioner.
Yeah.
And Bruce, who's over there with his hand up, is in charge of that department. So, and he's shaking his head, yeah, they're aware of it, and he's making notes right now, so.
All right, we'll continue to stay in touch and work, because this is obviously something that we're concerned about, something much worse
No.
happening there than a tree falling, so, because it's not safe.
No.
All right, thank
We
you.
agree, thank you.
What's the address?
329 East 56th Street.
East
56, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, guys, all right. And Al, you did get up to talk, okay. I've never seen an attorney that doesn't want to talk. All right, seeing nobody else, I'll move on from the open forum to reports. And the first one is my report, and tonight, that's not listed here, but I've got an appointment swearing in an individual to serve on the Police and Fire Commission, and he's taken the place, and I'd like him, Tom Mulhern, and the other two members of the Police and Fire to please come up so we can swear in Tom as the third commission member.
Interestingly, on the parcel view or the address they were talking about in the last item, it says Mulhern on it, so I'll be talking to you later.
Have nothing to do with the property.
All right, and we've got our two, you can stand on each side of them if you like.
Chairman Cabana and Commissioner Qualiza.
Oh, Stella, okay.
No,
Not right
not now.
All right, so Tom, I'd ask you to please raise your right hand and state your name.
I, Thomas Muller,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I'll support the Constitution of the United States,
that I'll support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the laws of DuPage County,
the laws of DuPage County,
the Westmont Village Code of Ordinances,
Westmont Village Code of Ordinances,
and that I will faithfully discharge
that I will faithfully discharge
the duties for the office of Fire and Police Commissioner
the duties of the Office of Fire and Police Commissioner
to the best of my
to
ability.
the best of my abilities.
Congratulations.
Okay. Well, a picture.
Oh, picture.
You're in the middle of his
I'm
floor.
always, or I'm always in the front row, so it doesn't quite matter.
We're going by height here.
Yeah, we are. Thank you.
All right, congratulations.
Good luck. Good luck. God bless you.
Yeah. Careful for what I asked for.
Well, thank you. Moving on my report, the 4th of July celebration, again, will be at Ty Warner Park. It started in the year 2000 with the dedication of the park. It's a great fireworks show. It'll start at, not the fireworks, but the activities will start at 4 o'clock. We'll have food trucks, activities, and of course, the great fireworks show that starts at 9:30. Very unique because it's a dual effect fireworks show, so we're one of the only ones that has that. And that's all I have, and I'll turn to Clerk Simsky.
I have to make a couple announcements. All village offices will be closed on June 20th. Recycling and garbage pickup will not be affected on this day and week. Village offices will be closed on the 4th of July, and there will be no recycle or garbage pickup on this day. Pickups will be one day late for the remainder of the week. Early voting sites, DuPage County has announced 22 early voting locations that are now open. New in 2022, DuPage registered voters can vote at any official voting location in DuPage.
Thank you. And we'll move on to Trustee Johanna Guzzo.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a few items this evening. Our next Fire Public Safety Committee meeting will be September 8th, 4:30 here in Village Hall. Everyone is invited to attend. The Kids Safety Camp, I have been informed by Deputy Chief O'Hare that the fire safety camp is full. I want to thank everyone for signing up. I hear it's a great time, and hopefully the weather cooperate and everybody just enjoy themselves. And then fireworks and summer safety. The Westmont Fire Department reminds residents to be safe when it comes to outdoor fires and fireworks. Summer safety info has been posted on the village website, which is westmont.illinois.gov. And that's all I have, Mayor. Thank
Well,
you.
thank you. Trustee Simonovich.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to start by offering my condolences to Congressman Sean Casten and his family on the loss of their daughter Gwen this week. I have a couple reminders. The Police Public Safety Committee will meet next on July 28th in this room at 4:30 p.m. We want to extend our thanks to everyone who was involved with Police Squad Car Night last week. We had an excellent turnout with more than 75 squad cars and police vehicles. And finally, the Citizens Police Academy is happening. The classes will run from September 28th through November 16th. Registration for this is open to individuals 18 years of age or older who live or work in Westmont. This registration form can be found on the village website. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Brady.
The Community Development Committee is looking at a proposal for redevelopment of 6142 South Cass, which is the vacant Westview Shopping Center, and also a possible consolidation of lots in the 400 block of North Warwick for parks and stormwater management improvement. Also like to mention the squad car nights was phenomenal. It took quite a bit of coordination. There were squad cars far away from the Wisconsin border, up into the south side of Chicago. And also, this past week, June 14th was Flag Day, and unfortunately, I didn't see too many flags out on my street. My street alone, we had 4 flags. And Steve Nero, he had his flag up, I had mine. So hopefully in the future, we have more American flags up. Thank you.
Thank you. And we'll move over here to trustee Nero.
Thank you, Mayor. I have to thank, though, trustee Brady, because he does remind me before every holiday. And I get a week's notice, so I really don't have an excuse. Our Public Works Committee meeting for this afternoon was canceled. We did receive an update for the manager. Our next meeting won't be till September 22nd. And just a quick update on dark skies lighting. Public Works is working with staff to review lighting at various locations, including the new Addington Plaza, as well as potentially Pasquinelli Drive. So look for more dark skies information to be on the website soon. And that is all I have, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Little.
Thank you, Mayor. The next Administration Finance Committee meeting will be held July 14th at 4:30 right here in this room. Cruising nights, as everyone knows, they're hosted by the volunteers of the Westmont Special Events Organization and is held from 5 to 9 every Thursday night through September the 1st. We're inviting everybody to come on out and enjoy the weather. The Taste of Westmont is coming July 7th, the 8th, the 9th, and the 10th. We're expecting another great year. Looks like we'll have 5 new food vendors. So all information is on our website at westmontevents.com. We do need volunteers all the time, all year round. We host more than 40 days of events throughout the year, and volunteers are needed to assist at all these events. If you have any amount of time to give and help at these great events, please contact Westmont Special Events Office at 630-829-9378 or WSEC@westmontevents.com. We certainly would appreciate all of your help. The U.S. Luge recap, we had a great turnout. We had over 50 kids from surrounding communities that participated last Saturday and Sunday. We want to thank the Communications Department, the Public Works, the Fire Department, the Police Department, EMA, and the Park District for all their coordination and support. So that was a great turnout, and everybody enjoyed watching that one. And that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Barker.
Thank you, Mayor. The Environmental Improvement Committee hosted the storm drain stenciling. We went through Oakwood up there, and I'm happy to say we had 16 volunteers, all ages. You know, we had some children and we had some older folks like myself. And I told the kids that they had to continue to volunteer because my days of bending over for that storm drain. Anyway, it was a wonderful event. Everybody had a good time. We had a perfect day for it. But it's nice to see that they're coming out with enthusiasm to keep that going. So we got through COVID with that outdoor activity. And then cruising nights this evening, the EIC members are down at the event this evening talking about invasive plants. And we actually have examples down there of things that if they're growing in your backyard, you should try to get rid of them. So it's, basically try to dig those things out. Don't spray them with toxic chemicals, but dig them out and make them go away. And we have some, pretty intelligent people down there telling you how to do that stuff. They're also going to be down there in the future talking about dark skies and the community composting program. Westmont First meeting was canceled. However, we continue to do work on the community mural program. And we had a presentation on that at our past meeting. The process is moving forward with additional staff input and review by Attorney Zemanek. We will keep everybody abreast of the updates, and the goal is to have a final proposal before the village board in the near future. And we're also working on this community busking initiative with topics being discussed, and we're hoping to create a scheduled busing event, a few of those this summer in various locations, so that we can generate even more foot traffic in the downtown area. That is all. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Before I move on the agenda, I failed to mention that, and you've heard people say Addington Plaza is open. And again, Jim Addington was a former mayor, longtime trustee. Mr. Westmont probably started some of the Special Events Corporation, or was one of those that was very active. We need to hold a dedication or an actual opening ceremony, and I think we're looking at, we're coordinating with the family, but 2 weeks from tonight, we don't have a committee meeting. We do it on a Thursday night when there is a car show, promote it, and try to get people at 5 o'clock or 5:30 in the plaza so we officially dedicate it as James Addington Plaza.
We will do it the mayor said, there's a lot to coordinate and a lot of entities to coordinate with, and that is a date that's looking promising. So the earliest it would be, will be June 30th, but we'll do a full press release when we're committed to that time. But
And again, the reason is, I think Jim's sister is around, and I think they're trying to do it while she's in town, so that's why it's kind of coming up real fast. So we'll let everybody know, but since there's no committee meeting, we'll all be able to attend. So that's it, and I'm going to ask, is there any items to remove from the consent agenda? Seeing none, I'd ask Manager May to please read.
on the consent agenda this evening, first, we have Village Board minutes. Board to consider approving the minutes of the Village Board meeting held June 2nd, 2022. It's followed by Finance Ordinance number 4 in the amount of $2,778,805.33. There are several purchase orders, first one being Pizzo and Associates, $23,470. This is for the Oak and Quincy Naturalization Project. That question has come up more than once. By naturalization, we mean the, it's now a detention basin that we unsuccessfully try and mow, and this is to native plantings and pollinator habitat, is what this represents. Next two purchase orders are the Village of Addison. First one's $372,976.02. This is for police dispatch services. And the next purchase order is $371,497.02. You know, in each case, they had to throw in their 2 cents. The second one is for fire dispatch services. Next purchase order is Atlas Bobcat, $34,875 for the mini track loader. Next two purchase orders are for affordable roofing. First one, $41,981 is the roof replacement at Westmont Center. And the second purchase order is $69,324 for the roof replacement here at Village Hall. Next purchase order, Chandler Services, $134,104.98 is the squad truck refurbishment. Those purchase orders total $1,048,228.02 and brings the total of the purchase orders together with Finance Ordinance number 4. Was it number 4? To an aggregate amount of $3,827,033.35. Continuing on, there are some special event hotel motel grant requests. The first one is Park District for Concerts in the Park. Board to consider a motion awarding the hotel motel grant in the amount of $2,500 to the Westmont Park District for concerts in the park. Next one, also Park District Summer Musical. Board to consider a motion awarding a hotel motel grant in the amount of $2,500 to the Westmont Park District for the summer musical event. Board to consider a motion awarding a hotel motel grant in the amount of $2,500 to Westmont Park District for the Haunted Forest event. Board to consider a motion awarding hotel motel grant in the amount of $5,000 to the Westmont Park District to assist with holidays. And I'm gonna back up a little bit. All of the other requests, the $2,500 ones, are for amounts that are in a pool for anybody to request for. All of those requests, as approved, still leave $17,500 remaining in that fund. That's usually a question that's asked. The holidays one is a little bit different in that the Village of Westmont is a partner in that event with the Park District, but our contribution is $5,000 for that event. The last item on the consent agenda is community events, 2022 Independence Day celebration. Board to consider an ordinance approving the following requests from the Westmont Park District regarding the annual 4th of July celebration at Ty Warner Park, including the 4th of July special event traffic plan, various one-way streets and street closures around Ty Warner Park from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m., fireworks permit fee waiver, amplified sound permit, tent permit fee waiver, temporary liquor license fee waiver. And those are all are together with the one motion under the consent agenda, and it does conclude the consent agenda.
Do I have a motion to approve as read?
Motion to approve is read. Little?
Second, Nero.
Motion made second. Comments? Yes.
Regarding the police and fire dispatch, did they bill us like from January to December? How do they bill us?
I think we get billed a couple times a year, so I think it's like 6-month increments, is my recollection.
This dollar amount does
This is
reflect.
the whole annual.
Yes.
Sorry, this is the entire annual amount, so when we get the bills, then we'll pay them, but I think
Oh,
it
I
comes
see.
to maybe
So
3
this is an estimated amount that they would charge us. Have they been consistent each year, or are you raising?
Yeah, they do raise them each year. There's I think, a built-in method for calculating how much they raise it.
Okay, thank you.
I do think our fire chief is working with them on looking at some of the calculations for fire departments and maybe hopefully getting that down a little bit, but this is based on the current
Yes.
bill.
Good question. One comment, the grants, these are all grants we've awarded in past.
Yes.
And it helps promote the community, and I've said this before, internal and external. We want people to feel happy living here and come visit here. So these grants are all, so the park district or the village can provide pretty much free services, so they can come out just like the car show. So we become a good place to visit or live, so. Seeing no other questions, I'd ask for roll call, please.
Trustee Little.
Yes.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Trustee Simonovich.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Motion passes. Moving on to new business. A, B1 permit Dolce at 13 North Cass Avenue. Board to consider ordinance approving a B1 development permit for 15 West Cafe LLC, DBA Dolce's Restaurant and Wine Bar to operate at 13 North Cass Avenue. And I got Director Sylvester to give us some more information.
Mr. Mayor and trustees, there's some movement of businesses in our downtown. It's exciting, but as the request makes clear, there are some changes on the north side of the tracks with the Moskva restaurant that's currently located and has been located at 13 North Cass for about the last 2 years. We learned through a discussion with the business that wants to move into that space that Moskva will be closing, which is sad, but the good news is that an established business, a good business that's been in our downtown for many years, Dolce Restaurant, who's with us here tonight, is planning to move into that space. So that space, if it's vacant at all, will not be vacant for very long, just as long as it takes for Dolce to move in there, assuming this is approved tonight. The only two things I want to bring to your attention before we ask Steve and Carrie Fleck, the applicants, to come up and talk about their business, which I assume most of you are familiar with, are just two bits that you should be aware of about that site. One, I gave to all of you before the meeting, and I will give to Steve Fleck as soon as I'm done here, a copy of an ordinance from 2005 about the patio area. That patio is permitted, it's permanent, it runs with the land. We had the same discussion when Moskva went in. That didn't have to go away when Amber went away. Moskva got to use that outdoor seating area, and so too will Dolce be able to use that seating area. But it is an open outdoor seating area that can have a roof over it. It cannot be enclosed. So I just want people to be aware it's not a year-round or a permanent or an area that can be enclosed. It has to be an open outdoor seating area that we, or your predecessors, approved having a canopy roof over. So that's the first item I want the applicant to be aware of and I want you to be aware of. And then the second thing, again, you all know this, but I want to make sure that the applicant is also aware, assuming the developer of 1 North Cass moves forward, which we've all been eagerly awaiting for several years now, this property will be adjacent to another very large construction project in our downtown. Sort of out of the pan and into the fire because Dolce's been right next door to 1 West Quincy. Now they're moving into a location that might be in a similar situation, being right next to a very large construction project. So just wanted everyone to be aware of that. That's all I have. If the petitioners want to come up and talk a little bit about their business.
Sure. Good evening.
Stephen Fleck, my wife Carrie is the other owner. Some of you know me, some of you may not know my wife Carrie yet, but yes, we have been through the ringer with COVID, survived that, survived a one-way street with no neighbors for many years. Dolce's been very successful. Originally started by Bronco that had Amber, and then from there went on to Burr Ridge. Our landlord has chosen to do other things with his building, and we started looking around. We had some other things that fell apart, but we looked outside of town, and once again, we're back in our hometown. So things just kind of worked out, and it was just a matter of going to talk to the owners at Moskva, and they said, sure, let's talk. And we found a home right back here in town. So we're hoping to remain part of the community, stay part of the community. We'll be able to expand our menu a little bit. We'll be employing more people, hopefully locally from town if they're looking for jobs, because it's obviously more seats than we had before. And be right in the heart of town and be part of cruise nights, things of that nature. So that's what our hopes and dreams continue to be here.
And I asked Director Sylvester to mention the canopy or the structure for outdoor seating. We also have one absolutely delicious. Those are the only two I know of that goes with the property. So, and we just found that out in Moscow. We went back and looked. So just to keep the board aware that that's allowed there. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve, Nero?
Second, Little?
Motion made, second. Questions?
Yeah, just to follow up on that, with the outdoor seating, the fire department has a lot of conversations about this outdoor seating and the type of structure that has to be there, as far as being stable and weather worthy and all of that. So I'm assuming both locations now meet those requirements, and anything that would be added in town anywhere else would be that good, if not better.
And Chief, do you have anything to add? I think any tent structure is always inspected annually. You want to come up to the, plus this was granted not as a continual use where we grant special event for a day, for an anniversary or something. These two properties have this every year. So go ahead, Chief.
So any tents do go through an inspection process where the fire department does have a component to make sure that the tents are properly rated and that there's appropriate exits. For these outdoor structures, we've been talking with the board, and our Fire Prevention Bureau is, their plan moving forward is for that B1 district to inspect twice a year to make sure that we're staying current with all fire safety aspects.
So it's not just the tent, to add on to that, there's also the electrical inspections. Sometimes there's, heat added, and I know this location did. I know the existing owner, if you want to call it the previous owner, there was a winter where code enforcement was going on in there because they were adding things that weren't part of that. So to answer your question, these inspections catch that annually, but hopefully semi-annually.
Yeah, and I know, and I think it'll be a great location for you just because of that patio. It's supposed to be built right, handled right, and it'll be an expansion to your business, which will be, I think, a huge plus, especially what we learned over COVID, right?
Yeah. Sorry?
I said we've learned that over COVID that you have to.
We learned a lot.
Now, if you could just get a drive-through, right?
Trustee Simonovich.
Chief, you kept saying tent, which makes me think temporary. This is more of a permanent canopy, so this is the yearly inspection as well?
Correct.
This permanent structure?
All aspects of the building will be inspected.
Okay.
So our current process is annual, but we've been having conversations that the B1 will be biannual.
And when a permit is granted, they're inspected with the permit. Once
a business license.
Yeah, with a business license, I'm sorry. Then they'll be re-inspected at that time before they can open. Your time frame, I don't think you mentioned it.
Yeah, so our last day at our current location is going to be the 24th. So if you enjoy our pizzas, you need to get there because we don't know where we're going to put the new pizza oven in the future. So they're going to be off the menu for a little bit. When that happens, though, we'll obviously go through the proper process of building department to install that or something when we can get to that point. But our hope and plan is by mid-July to reopen. As the mayor was saying, I think one of the things that happens here, and I think Bruce can say it, is this approval will trigger the fire department inspection, building inspection, and then things will start taking shape. Correct?
Thanks for bringing that up. So just as a reminder for the process, I apologize if I'm repeating myself. The first step in any business moving into the community, or in this instance, moving within the community, is a zoning approval. B1 permits are a type of a zoning approval. Once you say that something is allowed per zoning, then all kinds of things fall into place, including business licensing. Business licensing includes building division inspections for life safety issues, egress, fire prevention bureau inspections for things like sprinklers and exiting and alarms, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and liquor licensing as well. So this is the first step. It's got to get zoning approval before we spend staff time and the applicant's time and money on all of those other things that come next.
Any other questions?
Just a comment, thanks for staying in Westmont, making it work. I think it's gonna be a great location for you
Thank
and
you.
the family, and I can't wait to check out the patio, so.
Yeah,
Good
I mean,
stuff.
all in all, our hours aren't gonna change at this point. We need to get in there, get our feet wet. But as things continue to grow and we start seeing residents in Drew's new building here, maybe down the street at 1 North Cass, we'll start expanding into some daytime hours too.
And it'd be nice, you heard Trustee Little say the taste is the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. So it would be nice if you could get that open by then.
We can do that if we all get yeses.
Yeah. And our chief there, our deputy chief, inspects it, and he will. If no other questions, roll call, please.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Simonovich.
Yes.
Trustee Little.
Yes.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
I look forward to seeing a sign on that building.
You got it.
All right,
Now we can start all the rest of the permits for signs and everything else and make it
Yeah.
happen.
all right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. New business B, ambulance billing services contract. Board to consider ordinance approving an agreement with Andres Medical Billing LTD for fire department billing and collections. I've got Assistant Village Manager Parker. Who do you want? Deputy Chief O'Hare.
Ambulance
Either
billing.
way, I think it's a fairly straightforward process. This is discussed in more detail at the last Public Safety Committee meeting, where EMS Director Drawley kind of talked through some of the details of this, and the big thing is the company reached out to us and said they could lower our rates, and so that's a good deal to sign a new contract with that. I don't know if you have anything else you want to add to it.
Attorney Zemanek had reviewed the contract and made some minor revisions. I sent it over to Andres earlier this week. They still have not signed it. They're, the person that oversees the contracts is out of the country at the moment and should be returning next week. They didn't see any language of concern, but they didn't have the appropriate people to physically sign it this week. So anticipating that physically occurring in the near future, but once again, as Assistant Director Parker said, they reached out to us with these changes, which is nice for the rates to move in the downward direction.
It's benefit to us. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve Guzzo.
Second, Little?
Motion made, second. Additional comments? It's an easy one. Roll call, please.
Trustee Guzzo.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Trustee Simonovich.
Yes.
Trustee Little.
Yes.
Motion passes. New business C, award a bid proposal 2022 Central CBD Alley Reconstruction Project, Section H. Board to consider ordinance authorizing an engineering agreement with Thomas Engineering for Phase 1 and 2 design engineering for the 2022 CBD Alley Reconstruction Project, Section H. And I got Manager May to give some additional information.
So this alley reconstruction is just a continuation of all the alley work we've been doing in the Central Business District over the years. Section H is the reconstruction which runs It's the alley that's between Cass Avenue and Lincoln, south of the track. South Cass and South Lincoln, the alley that bisects that. And it'll be between, from Richmond to Des Moines Avenue. And the phase 1 and phase 2 is the design. It's the actual putting together the construction plans and contracts to be able to go out to bid. But it's design only.
Design. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve, Little?
Second, Barker.
Motion been made and seconded to approve. Any additional comments or questions? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Little.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Trustee Simonovich.
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo.
Yes.
Motion passes. New business D, an engineering agreement, 2022 Lincoln Grant Residential Alley Reconstruction Project. Board to consider an ordinance authorizing an engineering agreement with Thomas Engineering for Phase 1 and Phase 2 design engineering for the 2022 Lincoln/Grant Residential Alley Reconstruction Project. Manager May.
Yeah, it's a mouthful of a title.
Yeah.
This is the same thing. It's an alley reconstruction. All of the alleys we've done to date have been in the central business district for all the, good reasons that we started that, including stormwater management components. And now we're expanding out and getting into the residential neighborhoods to do this. So this is an entirely, it will be the first residential location only. And it is it's called the Lincoln Grant, so it's the alley between Lincoln and Grant. This is also South Lincoln, South Grant. But it'll be the length of the alley in this case. And also just design services.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve, Little?
Second, Nero.
Motion made, second. Comments? I'd have one question. When we do the engineering, is it likely to go in next year's budget?
That's the intent.
Okay.
Then, so you do the design, you have it, and then you've got your best estimate of probable cost, and then that's what you budget for construction.
So this is done in time for next year's budget?
That's the idea.
Okay.
And I, since you brought it up, if I may, we have one that's going on, also a CBD alley, where it's already been designed, and we're kind of doing it in concert with the developer that is Quincy Station that we were just describing with an earlier item. And that is all ready to go. We're partnering with the developer who has to reconstruct part of the alley. We're funding, let's just do the whole thing while we're in there. And there's a strike going on right now too. So we're unsure when, the construction will get started. Part of the reason that the developer was, we partnered with to let them control the management of that scheduling was for their operations, as far as not interfering with the only access they have to the building. And then if you've got people moving in and they're talking like they're booking fast and they'll have residents in there by the middle of July. The idea was to let them have control over the schedule and then, and then the strike. So that's just the news, that's just update. It has nothing to do with the approval of this item.
The sidewalk on Cass, that's closed for construction. If they're gonna move July, do they have a date when they wanna remove that?
Yes, I mean, no, but it was like gonna happen now. Other things keep changing that too. So it's not just the public sidewalk, but it's that whole curb lane of Cass Avenue, and that's gonna be like any week now. So they're looking to do that. They're finishing up the curb work and the pedestrian amenities in there so that we can pull that all out. We're very excited.
I know it's not part of the engineering agreement we're talking about, but since you brought it up, any other comments? I'd ask for roll call, please.
Trustee Little.
Yes.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Trustee Simonovich.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo.
Yes.
Motion passes. Miscellaneous. Anybody? I've got one. I want to congratulate the Chamber. Larry Forsberg's back there on a very successful golf outing at Twin Lakes Golf Club. They overfilled it, but they had a great time. And when we approved the bills tonight, the roofs on this building and the Westmont Center are 22, 23 years old. So it's life expectancy out of it. Anyone else have anything?
I did just want to follow up on your question, trustee Brady. So I double checked to see how often we are billed for the dispatch, and instead of 2 bills a year, we're billed for every 2 months together, so we get a total of 6 bills a year for the dispatch.
Seeing no other miscellaneous, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Motion been made and second to adjourn. I'd ask for a roll call, please.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Little?
Yes.
Trustee Simonovich?
Yes.
Trustee Barker?
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo?
Yes.
Trustee Newell?
Yes.
Motion passes and this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.